Hey everybody, how's it going? So I thought we'd do a little arcade Pac-Man style sign today out of PVC and resin. And so quickly I'm just sort of shooting the PVC with some high gloss black spray paint. And I figured that was going to take a few hours to dry, so I came over here to Inkscape and pulled in the text that I wanted to use. I used a font called Pac-Mania, and it had a few extra bits inside the lettering that I didn't care for. I didn't think it was going to turn out right on the CNC, so basically converted that to a path and then picked the nodes that you don't want to include here and just delete it all out. Since this was just going to be an easy little pocketing operation on the CNC, all that inside stuff really wasn't needed. And I grouped the letters just like this, make it easier to space out. So when I bring in the ghosts are the A letters right in the in the sign, and basically, leaving them the same height or scaling everything to the same height, but the widths will be a little bit different. So it was a little bit easier to space everything out like that. And with the ghosts, again, you just find a picture, convert it, trace the bitmap, and then I made a copy of that and did a little squiggly mouth in here with just a couple of circles for eyes, and then scaled everything, lined it all up, and saved this as an SVG that I could bring over into Carbide Create. And then once I had it in Carbide Create, I just basically scaled it to the piece, and then made these little extra bars in here, top and bottom, and then generated the tool path. So really simple tool path. Like I said, it's one pocketing operation. I'm using an 1/8 inch upcut O-flute, basically using like my acrylic setting, so moving at 100 inches per second or per minute, and came out really nice. That cuts like butter. And then this step, I'm using the Aura mask. I thought the resin process would be kind of messy because I've done a lot of resin in the past, and I know enough that my shaky hands likes to spill resin on stuff. And I figured if I did do the Aura mask, there was no way I was going to splatter. For sure, if I don't do Aura mask, then I'll splatter on something. But really, this step's really, it's kind of not needed. And if I do another sign, I probably won't use the Aura mask step, just because when you peel it off, it tends to take a little bit of the spray paint with it, and then you're stuck doing some touch-ups. And the initial cut was going really good, right up until right here, when the clip or the clamp that I made, the new clamp, was made out of HDPE, and I was testing out a new design, and that HDPE stuff is just not. It was way too flexible and wasn't holding the piece down. So I ultimately decided just to rehome this and keep the cut going, and use this as like a test pour piece to check out the colors and all that good stuff. I did ultimately machine out another one, and that's what you'll see in the resin step here coming up. But the cut was again really nice. Like I said, it's 100 inches per minute. It's a 50 thou depth per pass, and it's 100 thou total. And the cut comes out really smooth. I was a little worried that the Aura mask would be all gnarled and flaky and stuff like that, but it all around the letters and stuff like that, it was really nice. I forget how much I like carving PVC. And so once this thing wraps up, it's a quick vacuum with the hose just to get all the little PVC and Aura mask balls rolling around there, just to get those up and out of the way. And before pouring the PVC, I would really make sure, or the resin, sorry, really make sure that you've got those pockets cleaned out, because anything will pretty much, it'll float to the top. And so if you've got any little flecks of paint or any little slivers of Aura mask in there, they're all just get stuck in your epoxy. So do a real good job of clearing that out. And I'm using the Alumilite Quick Cast. You can pick this stuff up at like a Michael's or a Joann or Hobby Lobby, whatever you got. And it's great because it cures really quick, like in 10 minutes, but it cures bright white. So if you're going to be doing any color additive, like I do on some of these, then you have to be super liberal with the coloring. I decided to do the white portions first, so I mixed up a decent sized batch of this stuff just to get those lower bars and the letters and all that good stuff. I almost knocked it all out. I ran a little short on the E, so I had to mix up a smaller batch there just to finish that off before moving on to the color. And when you're mixing this, you're using just a tiny. You're not using much resin at all. Again, you're only filling up less than 100 thou worth of material, and I think I probably used like 30 drops of color in here. And I was a little worried that the resin wouldn't cure with all that color in it, but it actually cured just fine, and it held the color. If you only put in a few drops, because the resin naturally cures white, if you throw a red in there, it basically just cures to pink. So put in a lot of color. Now, if you're using something clear and you're good with letting it sit for a day or something like that, then do what you want to do. The yellow I think turned out pretty good. I wish it was just a tad brighter, maybe a little bit more orangey, but I'm working with what I had, and the ink selection at my local store here was not great. The blue I liked a lot, came out pretty good, and so there you go. Once peeled off the ore mask, a little bit of touch up, hang the sign. So nice and easy. So anyway, like and subscribe for more projects, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.